Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, YouTube. Thank you for joining us today for the Layover Podcast. Today we will be discussing self-care. If you know anything about me, if you follow me on my social media, you know that I take self-care very seriously and I normally practice it on Sundays. So today on the show, I have us a special guest, Jamel Morant, and she is a licensed massage therapist and an educator, and we'll be discussing self-care. Jamel, so before I waste any more time, go ahead and let us know who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Cyber World. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Karen, first of all, I want to say thank you for bringing me on. I am very honored to be a part of your podcast. I am Jamel Morant, licensed massage therapist, nationally certified and licensed in the state of South Carolina and North Carolina. I'm an educator. I've been a therapist 14 plus years, and teaching for 10. Um, Man, I'm a mother. I am a foster parent of the state. I am an intercessor, encourager. Jamel wears many, many hats, but most people know me professionally as a licensed massage therapist.
That's dope. So automatically, educator, parent, head of the household,
Yeah.
self-care is important to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a top priority. It's very intentional for me. I'm very intentional about self-care, and it makes sense. There's no way I could invite so many people into my private practice to get body work and I don't partake in that self-care type of regimen. So yeah, it's top priority for me for sure.
Okay. What exactly is self-care? And can you just indulge a little bit more or expound a little bit more on how important it is?
Okay. So self-care, like nowadays, self-care, that whole you should do self-caring, or a lot of blogs and health industry or professionals use this title self-care, right? Um, which is great. But honestly, to me, self-care is every day being very intentional about getting your power back, because we do a lot. I mean, both men and women, we do a lot. We take care of a lot. We have a lot of responsibilities, and every day that power, gets diminished by the end of the day. And so with self-care is being very intentional about restoring, uh, refreshing, and ultimately receiving and getting your power back. I would say that's what self-care is. How important it is, Lord have mercy. Self-care is so important, folks, to indulge in, to partake in, and be very intentional. Because if you do not replenish yourself, if you don't restore your mind, body, and spirit, life will beat you down. You're going to be looking old as get out. You be 30 looking about 50, first of all. Um, your organs need to be replenished and restored. Your mind, the chemical messengers in your brain has to be restored. You have to rest. You have to revitalize the very organs that keep you alive every single day. So if you want to stay alive, then you have to be intentional about self-care. If you want to live a long time, you have to be very, very, very intentional about self-care. And self-care is not expensive. Self-care is not just for women. Self-care is not for therapists like me that know about how to give self-care, or to service people with self-care. It's for everyone, the old, the young, men, women, and children. Um, Ultimately, self-care is important to keep you alive, to live a healthy lifestyle. Because you could be alive but not healthy. You see what I'm saying? You could be, yes, your heart pumping, yes, your brain is functioning, yes, you're breathing without unconsciously, thinking about it. However, are you healthy? Are you well? That's how important it is. Your organs, your brain, your spinal cord, your heart, your lungs need self-care. Yes.
Okay. I read an article recently because I like to, during my self care time, I like to read as well.
Hmm.
And I was reading an article and it was saying realistically, we need about 10 to 20 minutes daily of self care.
Hmm. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that realistic?
It's very realistic because self-care is most of the self-care that we need is free. We ain't got to set no appointments. We ain't got to leave out of our house. We can do it ourselves. You know, we don't need another practitioner or someone that is an expert in self-care. We don't need we you know, self-care is not an indulgence. We don't have to um, spend money, to be honest. So, 10 or 15 minutes, yes. 10 or 15 minutes is great for starters, especially if you're not intentionally doing something for yourself. 10 or 15 minutes, because if you look at it in a 24-hour day period, most people work like 8, 10, 12 hours a day, right?
Like 20.
Facts, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Man, listen, we work endlessly, right? But those 10 or 15 minutes do us a greater good when we intentionally stop everything that we're obligated to and pour back into ourselves. Again, self-care is about restoring our power. And so those 10 to 15 minutes, it takes that long. That's it. And if you do it longer and daily, then you're really pouring back into yourself really good. You are becoming healthier, mind, body, and spirit. You're pouring back to all of those elements of your holistic being. And so, yeah, 10 or 15 minutes, that's all it takes. If you're doing 10 or 15 minutes daily, okay? And if you are intentional about that, um, man, you are well on your way maintaining your health and just your overall well being. Yes, for sure.
Well, I'm greedy because self care Sunday, which is the whole day,
Yes, sir. I like it.
is my me time.
Right.
So, and for a lot of people that may not even understand, there's a difference between self care and self maintenance, isn't it?
Big difference.
Okay, let's indulge.
Self maintenance. Because most people think okay, I know what self care is. I know what self maintenance is. I understand that. Most people probably do, but the big difference is that self maintenance is things that we do unconsciously, like things that we do automatically per day, but not necessarily things that keep us healthy, like um and that goes from a social economic standpoint. That goes from what we eat. It goes from what we do soon as we get out of the bed, right before we go to bed. All of that is there's a difference. So with self maintenance, you're not really thinking about it. Like most people with self maintenance, for example, when it comes to our food. So if we hungry, we don't work all day and we don't grew up an appetite. A lot of us, when it comes to self maintenance, we're going to eat something that's typically available. It's the cheapest. It tastes good.
Grab and go so I can
Bingos, that
car while driving.
bingo. Um, So that's fine and dandy. However, so when you eat those things that are tasty, grab and go, that's available, you're basically doing that to keep you going for the rest of the day, right? That's self maintenance. You know what I'm saying? You ain't thinking too much about it. You're not really caring um, if it's good for my stomach. Da 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 da. A lot of people, most times, are just grabbing something that tastes good. Well, there's a difference with self care. Self care is okay, I'm intentionally going to eat this food because it's going to be good for my skin, for my eyes. It's going to be good for me in the long run. I'm going to eat this yogurt with these berries in it because I get all of these nutrients in it. I'm going to eat this salad versus 4 slices of pizza. The greens is going to be good for my gut later on. Self-care, we are doing things intentionally that's going to carry us long term. Versus self-maintenance, we do stuff like, man, let me grab this four for Wendy's.
Stay out my head.
I don't care. You know what I'm saying? What's the caloric account or how many calories it is? I'm gonna get this Pepsi, this large Pepsi. We're doing it because it tastes good, it's available, it's convenient. That's self maintenance. You ain't really got to think about it. However, self care, you have to be very consciously. You have to think about that thing. You have to say, okay, um, you know what? Instead of me going to get my 4 for 4 every day, this morning I'm gonna prep. I'm gonna get me a salad. You know what I'm saying? I normally get hungry this time. I'm gonna intentionally grab me some fruit, banana, oranges, a mango, and I'm gonna pack it for the day. I'm gonna take it wherever I go. I'm gonna get about 3 cups of nuts and fruits and berries, dried fruit, and I'm gonna take it with me. Those are intentional things that that's gonna benefit your body long run and gonna give you more energy, honestly, because the 4 for 4, you eat that at 5, by 6:30 you looking for something sweet, you want something else, and it's not fulfilling. It fulfills you at that moment, self-maintenance, but self-care fulfills you and take care of you in the long run. Yeah.
Okay. So let's play a little game. Get my hair done. Is that self care or self maintenance?
Self-maintenance.
Getting my nails done. Is that self care or self maintenance?
Self-maintenance.
Getting a spa pedicure. Is that self care or self
That's
maintenance?
a little that's layered, because if you look at it, um taking care of your feet is important. That time when you're sitting down getting your pedicure, which is like 30-40 minutes, that's quiet time for you. That's a time of reflection, that you could take a book or you can listen to some music of choice. You bring your earbuds into the salon. That 30-40 minutes, if you're sitting down, and then, ooh, if you go to a spa that has the good chair that does the massage, stretch
Mm-hmm.
your back for those 40 minutes, that's self-care. uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's self-care. Yes.
Um, Shower versus a bath.
Ooh. um hmm Shower versus a bath. Okay, so if you taking a shower, if you take a quick 10-minute shower right before work, you just, again, unconsciously doing, you're just going to do it because it's the norm. It's something you must do. You don't want to walk around stank all day. um so you're going to take that shower, you're going to unconsciously, you're not thinking about it. That's something that you automatically do, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, um when you get your hip home, right, and you say, you know what, tonight I'm going to get me a nice glass of red wine. I'm going to pull out this fancy body scrub I bought from this health food store 2 months ago. I'm going to light some candles or get some incense. You're going to look through your playlist and intentionally play some music that's soothing to you. Get that bath water together. Ooh, that's care. That's, you are intentionally taking time to restore yourself, to replenish, to reflect on the day's work that you accomplished, things that you've done through the day. Think about how, that's a moment of you like, I feel great. I did great today. I was productive. You know, um, those things are geared towards self care for sure. But if
Look, you just describing the actions of what to go get, like candle, scrub,
yeah,
glass of wine, like all that. It unwinds me, like just sitting here in this chair, like, you just
yeah,
took my bath up a level. So
yeah,
I definitely see where you up the self maintenance to a self care moment.
right, right.
Um, let's see. All right. You being outside with the fresh air versus me being in the house. Self care or self maintenance?
Oh, um, it depends on what you're doing. Like, if you are in the house on the internet, it's too much stim. You got all the lights on, the TV running in this room and the other room. You got people upstairs or somebody's yelling to get this and you in the house and it's not quiet and serene and peaceful and you can't think, right? You're overly stimulated. Being in the house because you're safe, you're in a safe space, that's self-maintenance. I'm at home. However, when you come out on your porch, you don't pay for your rent and your mortgage. Why not sit on your porch and get some of this vitamin D, this fresh air? Hear the birds and the children next door playing and just sitting down, get you a cup of tea, get you a glass of wine. I'm a wine connoisseur, and I love hot tea, so that's why I keep bringing that up. However, get you a good book, um, put your feet up, and relax. And guess what? You ain't got to be outside all night. If you want to, that's fine. But again, just like you said when you read that article, 10 or 15 minutes of that is self care, and that's all it takes daily. If you're doing it more often or longer, you are doing things for your well-being, and that's a great thing. It's a great thing.
So you brought up tea,
Hmm.
and I'm glad you brought up tea. A ritual of mine is drinking hot tea before I go to bed.
Yes, sir.
Is that self-care?
That is self-care.
Okay, Kara.
That is self-care because of the heat. What happens with the internal body, and then you have the melatonin that's being released in your system, is setting up a good ground for restoration. That heat relaxes the small intestines and aids in full absorption of what you eaten or drunk that day. um, it is telling the body, hey, we getting ready to go into a rest and digest mode. It tells the brain to calm down. It releases happy hormones, like serotonin, and that's self care. You're taking care of all of your vital organs. Your brain is calming down, and then you like your body's like, "Ooh, thank you, Lord," because this girl been ripping and running all day. But you get that cup of tea and that moment to sit down and reflect, and then you go and lay down and rest. You're refreshing and restoring your power. And I told you, self-care is about restoring, uh, grabbing your power back from the everyday task of things. We do a lot. Our bodies is so tenacious, though. It'll endure it. When it comes to self-maintenance and self-care, self-maintenance, when you go to sleep, that's a form of self-care and self-maintenance. You know what I'm saying? um your body gonna shut down. I don't care if you go 3-4 days with 2 or 3 hours of rest. Eventually, it's going to shut down, right? However, when you intentionally get that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of rest, that's self care. That's where you really getting your organs and your body revitalized. Our bodies are like engines. You know what I'm saying? Self maintenance, when it comes to like a car, maintenance is like the oil change and all of that good stuff. Self-care is um small things like you gonna vacuum out this car. You ain't vacuuming about 4 or 5 months. You're gonna take time to vacuum, clean this trunk out, make sure you know what I'm saying, your car gonna run because you got the oil change, you got gas in it. That's self-maintenance. But self-care is that I'm gonna wash, wax the car, actually clean the rims of the car, vacuum the car out, throw this trash out, throw this mail you done had about 3-4 years out of your glove compartment. All of that, that's self-care. You know what I'm saying? You intentionally doing things that really, keeps the car running. You know what I'm saying? So um self-care is about getting your power back. You got to get your power back.
Okay. What are some ways that you yourself indulge in self-care?
Oh, first of all, rest means a lot to me. Like anybody that knows me personally, Jamel gonna get her rest. I am going to settle down and get my rest, and that includes sleep. But I take moments of hibernation. I take moments to come within, show my own self gratitude. Small things like before I get out of the bed, I'm like, "Thank you, Lord." Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I show myself gratitude. I'm like, thank you for this mind, body, and spirit. Ooh, thank you. You know, this
Mhm.
starts my day, right? And I set the tone up. Small things like that. I do a lot of I do body scrubs, I exfoliate my body. I do like just recently I bought a trampoline and when I get off of this, well I got another Zoom call, but I'm going to jump. I do things that the average, I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but the average person don't do. I do things that just remind me of my youth and my childhood. I do a lot of that. um I get massages myself. Like I have to first of all, it's a moment because I do a lot, I'm responsible for a lot. And so when I book my 90 or 100-minute massage, honey, I literally, when I go in that room, whoever the therapist is, shout out to all my LMTs that's watching this, share this, share this. But when I go and get a massage, right, it's almost like my mind, body, and spirit be like screaming, like, pray, you know, I'm kind of like yelling. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. And when I get on that table for the 100 minutes, it's a moment of reflection to me. I know massage is going to move my lymph, my blood circulation. It's going to ease the tension from my everyday work. You know, I get a lot of muscle tension, and it does my mind, body, and spirit a lot. It heals me a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? And so I get beat down every day. And again, self care is about restoring your power, right? So every day, the things that I do beats me down. So I have to fight back. You know what I'm saying? I fight back. You know, I intentionally pull my power back because from people, places, and things, it will break you down. You know what I'm saying? And so I intentionally do things. So massage, I go into an oxygen hyperbaric. What is it called? It's an oxygen tank that I go to. I go to Breath of Salt, which is like
Mhm.
Himalayan salt, and I inhale it. I do all kinds of things like that. I do yoga. I just, and then things that don't cost a lot at home. I go out, I get my yoga mat, and I go sit in the sun. I find a spot in my yard, and I sit there and I lay out, might get a pillow, but I don't have a lot of clothes on, and I go and get that. My dose of vitamin D is good for my bones, my blood, my heart, my brain. You know what I'm saying? And so those are the things that I do. And guess what? It's very intentional. It's very intentional. If I don't get my massage once or twice a month, I'm like a baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm screaming and crying like, wham, wham, where's my massage? Like, I got to go get it, you know? And I intentionally stop everything. I stop everything. And I make sure I pour back into myself. Yeah.
So we gonna talk about you for a little bit because you know I was at brunch with the girls yesterday. Brunch for me is definitely a self care
Oh,
movement.
bunch.
Just kicking back with the girls, recapping since the last time we saw each other, whether it be a week, a month, whatever. Just the environment of being able to have grown folks conversations, hair products, just having conversation, right?
Ooh,
We just
self
said
care.
yesterday, we both, me and Mary, right? And we both was like, well, we got to get your hands on. It's like, Mel, your hands are gifted. Like literally drooling while I'm asleep getting a massage gifted. So I definitely have to post your information because if you have not had a massage by Jamel Morant, I'm telling y'all losing out. South Carolina. I'm gonna see can I squeeze a little 10% coupon code or something out of her.
That's whatever, whatever it takes. Yeah.
But you have to. Those massage sessions work wonders. So I want to ask real quick because you have two children under the age of what, 5?
Yeah. Yep. Two boys.
What are there self care methods for the children?
Yes, like my son, he's with his dad right now, but he is familiar with meditation. He's familiar
Oh,
with yoga. Yep. Um, this is what he do, like, because he go to school and I got him in extracurricular activities with karate, basketball. He does it all, right? Guess what he says once he finished with his activity? Ooh, mama, when I get home, I'm gonna take my shoes off, and can I get on my tablet? And then I'm gonna take my shoes off, and I want to lay down and relax. Like, he is familiar with, ooh, I need to uh get away from all of the stimulation, come within and have a quiet moment. He is he's familiar with that. He's familiar with, and he understands at 5 years old that, man, okay, yes, school is fun. Yes, I can go to this, and yes, I can do that. But just to retreat back to quiet time within himself, not a lot of stimulus. He don't like a lot of light when it's time. You know what I'm saying? And then so he's familiar with that. And I encourage all parents that have children to encourage and educate your child on self-care, pouring back into their self. You know what I'm saying? They can exfoliate their little legs before they get in the tub, and they can do yoga and stretch, and they could walk, and they could do these things that don't cost a lot of money now, and it don't take a lot of time. You see what I'm saying? Men too, a lot of times with self-care, um a lot of people think, oh, it's for the lavish, and it's just a luxury, and it's for women. Nah, men endure a lot too. You know what I'm saying? They have a great deal of responsibility too. They have a lot on their mind too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So for them to be able to have moments to download, to rest and restore, it's important too. We need them for a long time as well. We want them to live 70, 80, 90 years old as well. So if we could do anything to pour back into our men and to our boys as well, our young children, it's very important. Very, very important. Yeah.
So the kids take a nap during the day. That's a self-care moment for them.
Yes. I'm a big look, nap time. It's time for nap. Not necessarily and let me say this. With nap time for children, it's good for them. But guess what? It's good when they go and lay down to take that hour, 2 hour nap. It's self-care for the parent or whoever the caregiver is to have that quiet time. You know what I'm saying? So most times us as parents will take advantage of, they're going to take a nap, we try to clean up something and try to do this and try to prepare. No, 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 no. To me, now there's times and places for that. But most of the time when they lay down and take a nap, you should too. You should cut on something on Netflix that you've been wanting to watch versus cartoons all day. That's self-care. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, children need to take naps, and if they don't take naps, they just need quiet. Cut the tablets off, cut the phones off, cut the TV off. We as a society is overly stimulated, but we are touch deprived. We are deprived of quiet stillness, quiet moments. We are deprived of that. And then, some people might have a problem with quiet. Is cut a little music on, but don't indulge in so much TV and be on your phones and your tablets all day long. Your brain needs rest. Your brain needs rest. It needs a place of, so we have these two things really quick when it comes to our brain, right? We have a we have a fight and flight and a rest and digest system in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are constantly overly stimulated, if we are always busy, always doing something, always having to tend to something or somebody, we are remaining in this fight and flight mode. Now, what's so bad about that? You're not giving your body, your spirit, and your mind ultimately space to restore itself. So when you're in a fight and flight mode, there's a certain amount of chemicals or hormones that's flooding through the body to help you maintain or do whatever workload you have at your fingertips that you have to do. However, What's problematic with that is that your organs cannot replenish itself. Your red blood cells cannot be restored, and your white blood cells, your immunity cells cannot be restored when you're constantly in this fight or flight mode. So you have to be in this rest and digest. You have to get into the rest and digest. It must take over at some point in order for you to keep you healthy. um, when you're in the fight or flight mode, guess what? You're at higher risk of disease, all kinds of ailments and pains, arthritis, lupus, all kinds of autoimmune diseases where now your body is fighting itself when you stay in this fight or flight mode. So you have to come down out of that. You have to ignite the rest and digest system so that your brain can settle down, so that your organs can say, okay, now I can restore. If it's constantly working, it's going to wear itself out. So that's self-care. Y'all
All
better
right.
self-care.
So
Yeah,
as you're talking, I'm thinking we come home from work and coming outside with the kids and taking a 10-15 minute walk around the block. Is that considered a self-care moment for both of us?
absolutely. Absolutely. Your body needs that walk. Your lymph system, your immune system needs that fresh air, needs to walk. Your body needs oxygen. Your brain needs glucose and oxygen in order to operate ultimately, like to its best ability. If
Mhm.
you are foggy, if you're cloudy, you can't remember stuff, guess what? Your brain needs oxygen. What's the easiest way to do that? Exercise. Going for a brisk walk, 10 to 15 minutes. That's why I get on that trampoline every evening or every morning, because I'm activating, I'm demanding my body to receive the oxygen so I can operate and so I can think clearly. Yep, 10 to 15 minutes with walk with children, with your spouse, with your pet, is self-care.
Okay. You touched on something that I didn't want to talk about on this show, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Mhm.
Touch deprivation. Can you just touch on that a little bit? Because I don't even think people understand how important it is, especially since we just had this pandemic or still going through pandemic. If you are at home alone, touch deprivation is a real thing.
Yeah, you're deprived. You're deprived.
Mhm.
Most of us are deprived. Like, if I have 10 clients come in, I may ask them, when the last time you was touched? Safe touch, non-sexual touch. That includes sitting on the couch with somebody watching a movie, somebody embracing you, saying thank you, or give you a handshake. But we are touch deprived as a society, big time. I ask people in the last 24 hours how many times you've been touched. And a lot of people would say, man, outside of my child giving me a hug while they left off to work or school, that's it. All day long. All day long, 24 hours. That's the only touch you got. Okay. That's problematic. Touch therapy is so critical. And this is an adult channel or live platform. Sex is a great form of touch therapy. That's when most of adults get touched the most. However, we need to implement a lot more safe touch outside of sex if you are sexually active. A lot of adults ain't sexually active, so they really, you know what I'm saying, they really, really, really touch deprived. So what can I do? What can I do to, and the purpose of touch therapy, the reason why people come and get massage, and they don't know this, they'll ask me, man, Jamel, what did you do? I couldn't sleep for 4 or 5 days straight. But I come in here for 70 minutes and slept the whole time. What did you do? Did you do some type of energy work? Did you pray over me? And I said, it could be a combination of everything, but ultimately, what I do is help facilitate you to get into that rest and digest mode, to facilitate the chemical messengers out of your brain to be released. All of your well being hormones like serotonin, There's tons of hormones that gets released with that massage, with that type of touch therapy. Um, so massage is a big way, is an easy way. But things like, holding hands with your spouse sitting on the couch for 10 minutes. That 10 minutes activates a system in our brain to help release hormones. Those hormones, what they're going to do once they get released in your system, they're going to go to certain areas of your body that has been worn out. They're going to go to organs and knock on the organs door and say, hey, it's time to be restored. That's why we have these chemical messengers. So if you don't get those hormones released, your internal body is screaming. Your internal body needs you. And people trying to figure out, man, why I can't sleep, why I can't focus, why I'm so unsettled, why my anxiety has increased over the past few months. Touch deprivation. Get touched. Go get a massage. Go hug somebody. Embrace somebody. Conversation does that too. Like y'all had your brunch. That it helps release happy hormones too. Just being in the facility of other happy people helps release those happy hormones. Um, and so you have to be, again, now this is social self-care. So there's a thing, you got social self-care, you got economic self-care, you got food self-care. You got so many elements, so many ways that you can do self-care. Economic self-care could be, when I get paid this week, I'm gonna put $100 back. When instead of me going straight to the liquor store and buying up all the Patron this Friday when I get paid, I'm going to take a portion of that. I'm not saying not indulge in what you like, because everybody have things that they like.
Mm.
But take a port, you spending $300 at the liquor store, take half of that and say, you know what? This weekend I'm gonna book a massage for $100. Now I got $200 to spend on my liquor, and I'm doing self-care. You know what I'm saying? Liquor is self-maintenance. It's a social thing. Um, you know, for most people. However, um, whenever you intentionally do things to pour back into yourself, that's where it counts. That's where it counts. Yeah.
Okay. So if you have children, it's safe to say that you need to hug on them babies more than once a day. More than
Yes.
just getting out the car when they go on to school. You need to hug on them as much as possible so they're getting the love and you're getting the love.
Yes, absolutely. Parent-children relationships is where we get the touch the most. Most adults get touched.
Mhm.
Or it's the easiest, you know. Um, Children need it. It's important. Hug them, please. Because if you're thinking about it, if you're not hugging them, then who is? If you're not embracing your children, then who are? You know what I'm saying? Because in the school system, they got it set up where the teachers don't touch them, can't touch them, can't even go to the bathroom with them if they're a toddler. Like they got to stand out. It's so many different things that are in place where touch is not involved. So if your children not getting the touch from you, who else? Who else is doing it? You know what I'm saying? And then from you, it's safe. It's platonic. It's with good tensions and pure. So do it. You know what I'm saying? And then now hey, it's gonna help them release their it's happy hormones, it's restoring their organs. Now you know that. So you gotta be very now when you gotta be very careful. When you sitting on your couch after a long day, most times you don't want to be touched, but that's the time when you need it. So if your teenager come and sit by you, which he or she rarely does, right? When they do come sit by you, embrace them. Don't tell them, hey, get out of here. Don't brush them off. Don't dismiss them. I'm big on not dismissing children. You know what I'm saying? And so when the child wants a hug, give it to them. If they want to touch you, if they want to come and stand in the kitchen with you, let them do it. They need that. They really do. Yeah. All ages. I'm not just talking about little babies. I'm talking about teenagers. Let them sit in the kitchen. Y'all have a conversation. we need to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And if we're not having a conversation, then you leaving it to society to have those conversations for you. And then, I mean, y'all see how crazy the world is.
We
You know?
definitely do.
Yeah.
Jamel, I'm full. The people on watching full. There's so many comments that came through that says good stuff. This is deep. I'm so full from this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on this evening and sharing the information with us. Even explaining the difference between self maintenance and self care, because now that you know, then you can be, we can be more intentional about the things that we do. I know growing up, old school, we got hugs, but it was once or two, 1 or 2 during the day. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't any extra. You leaving, you going to school, you going to work. You know what I
Right.
mean? So even understanding now, like that hugging of your children or your family members, like that's needed.
Yeah. Even
So
friends, like, hug when y'all leave, hug when you come. Stay close to each other when y'all talking. I mean, COVID is around right now, but still you can put your mask on, but just being in the proximity, so it's about close proximity that
mhm.
makes these chemicals in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Stay close, stay close proximity. Stay sit by each other. Sit
Now you know
right.
we gotta do the 6 feet now. Don't have them be like, well, KTL and Mel said.
Yeah, you heard what I said. You better put your mask on, but if you are around these people often,
hmm
or if you decide that y'all want to do brunch or do a movie somewhere, or y'all having friends and family time at home, it's important. I mean, be in the same room. What I'm saying, you can still, that's still close proximity. um Closeness is important. The people in your house is even more important. Make sure that they are staying well through touch therapy and staying healthy by intentionally doing things and pouring into each other. And it's not all about gift buying. Those things are beautiful too, and depending on your love language, that's grand. However, what do you need mentally, spiritually, and physically that's going to keep you well? Those are the things you got to focus on, you know versus things that don't necessarily keep you healthy. You got to do things that's going to keep you healthy. Yeah, that's going to allow you to live a long time. You got to think like that. You got to think about, how do I want to feel, look, how do I want my spirit body to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Those are the things we need to focus on today. Probably about a month or so ago, I said, God, I said, what really matters? You know, what really matters. I have businesses. I teach adults, and I got so many things that I'm doing. But I drove up in my driveway and I thought about it. So I'm very grateful for where I'm at in life and the season I'm in. But God showed me what really matters. And honey, when I said that prayer, the revelation just kept coming, and it still is. And if I had to share a little bit, what's important, and God revealed to me your health, the people you live with. And it's not about I'm a hustler. I work hard. I've been working since I've been 15, but it's not even all about that. Even within that, what yes, we got to pay bills and all of this stuff, but honestly, step back and say, what really matters? What Why am I living? What's my purpose? Why am I doing the very things I do every day? And so God has just quietly and gently, and he's just showing me every day what really matters. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Hmm.
I put a post up earlier, right? Sitting in your car after you get home in your driveway is self care. I don't care what nobody say. That's a KTO fact.
Put the window down. Put your foot up on the dash.
Yes.
Honey. The best therapy.
Hello.
The best.
That is
That's
a good
self
reboot.
care all day long. Mm, yes.
Okay. See, I don't feel bad because I'll sit there in a drive with about a good 30 minutes, Mel, and just listening to the birds, enjoying the
Oh,
weather. Like I don't even open up the door, prop my leg up on the door real quick, like just enjoying. I guess it's like quiet time. I'm just sitting
stillness.
still, and I'm letting the air flow and just letting the mind flow. Sometimes listening to the radio, but just that stillness. I'm in my driveway, and I don't even feel like getting out the car yet.
Hello. Hello. And then let me tell you, stillness and moments like that activate the creative juices in your mind. Like if you want to do something or you have this idea and you got to get into your rest and digest mode. If you always busy, if you always going here fro and taking care of everybody, you're not allowing your creative juices and your power that God gave you to have and to build upon. You're not giving yourself that opportunity. You're not doing yourself any, justice. And so, man, many times I sit in that, and then, honestly, sometimes our stresses are within our home. If we be honest, you
Hmm.
know. So to sit for 10 or 15 minutes is so therapeutic for you. And it allows you to say, okay, I got to take care of this evening. I got to take care of that. That's fine. But then it gives you an opportunity to prioritize and figure out, come up with a plan on how you're going to take care of the very things you need to take care of. Um, but yeah, man, sit in your car, try it. If you haven't tried just sitting in your car, and not be so eager to go into your house when you drive up, watch how therapeutic that thing is. Yeah.
Cause and I love my safe haven, my
Yeah.
home. But sometimes when you're leaving a meeting or you leave work and then you go right into the house to do other stuff, like that sitting in the car is a buffer for me.
Yes, it's a buffer. Hands down. Hands yeah. Because our professional life is demanding, our family life is demanding, right?
Mhm.
But it's all about, we got to take care of us. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a buffer. It allows you to kind of leave business life or whatever you got outside of the home, leave it there, and then allows you to get restored and reset. It resets you. You know what I'm saying? You get reset, and then you can handle whatever you need to do once you go in the house. And oftentimes, man, if I've been Zoom calling all day, I've been teaching people all day, and I've went to my own private practice. um Sitting in that car once I get home is such a blessing. And sometimes I just take a nap. I'll doze off. You ain't never doze off, Karen. Man, I done dozed off and be up looking, and those moments, and guess what? Ooh, I'll be like, ooh, thank you, Jesus, for that moment. We've been needing moments of stillness. We don't have that. You gotta take it. You have to take it. You gotta be very intentional.
I love it. I love it. Mel, you have definitely blessed us on today. I thank you. If anyone needs to find you on Facebook, they can look you up as Jamel Morant.
Yeah, yeah. That page, my Jamel Morant page, will pop up. You will also see Jamel Morant private massage office that'll pop up. Um,
Okay.
on IG is Jamel Morant LMT. You can Google me. My information will pop up that way as well.
Okay, Google. So I done talked about your massages. How can they book a massage from you? Do they go to IG? Do they go to Facebook?
Yeah, you can go IG, you can go Facebook, or you could put, in your search engine, www.jamelmorantlmt.gettimely.com. If somebody can drop that in the chat box for me, I appreciate it. It's www.jamelmorantlmt.gettimely.com. And if you didn't catch that, just type in Google Jamel Morant. It'll pull up my booking, but you can book. Um, Lately, I've been getting text messages or inboxes like, hey, I don't see anything available until late May. Um, my schedule is probably about 99.8% accurate online. So just go ahead and book. Go ahead and book, and I'll see you in May. And June is up now. So I just been very fortunate. And believe it or not, like, man, during this pandemic, people are they're recognizing of how deprived they are, and what they self-care is a big thing right now, so to say. And so I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of new people that's coming in, a lot of professionals, a lot of LMTs that are just coming in, flooding my office. And I'm so grateful to meet such wonderful people. So book your massage, book it, and go online. And when you book it, if you have any questions, just hit me up.
Awesome. So if you wanted to catch this episode or any other episode from the Liver podcast, please feel free to join us at anchor.fm/KTL Lifestyle. To stay connected with anything that I have going on, you will go to www.karentlewis.com, and you can follow Jamel here on Facebook at Jamel Morant, and you can also Google her. I'm telling you now, those massages are definitely good. If you're touch deprived, just say yes. Tell hubby you need it for self-care, because you do. Tell yourself you need it for self-care, because you do. Look, move some funds around. Save $20 every week or something. Put it to the
Come on.
side for your massage fund.
That's right.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it. And we're
Yeah.
gonna get a little discount code out of her, and I'm gonna post it once we do. But I thank you so much for joining us. You definitely gave us some great information. Um, I loved it. I
Yeah.
thank you for finding the
Thank,
time.
thank you.
And
Thank
even you being outside made me feel like I was outside relaxing myself.
Come on. I look, y'all step out on your porch now and sit down somewhere outside and see how it bless you. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Karen. Again, get your power. You got to take that power back. You got to restore it. And how you do it is through self-care. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us on this evening. We'll catch you on another episode of the Lyra podcast, which will be this Friday with Financial Fridays. So, as always, I love you, and I will see you on the next layover.
Peace and blessings.